Greetings everyone, this is Instructor Mustafa coming from MedJ International Services, located right here in the District of Columbia. Today I want to bring you another life-saving tip. And that tip is, do you understand the importance of a mass notification system? Do you understand the importance of a mass notification system? On last week, there was a gentleman who traveled from the West Coast to the East Coast to New York City. And upon arriving in New York City and upon arriving at the building, he double parked his black BMW. Inside of his black BMW, he had an AR-15 and a gun bag. He had a revolver, he had ammunition, he had other items in the vehicle. Upon getting out of the double park car on the side of the building that he was going to do his work in, his damage and his killing in, got out the car, he took his AR-15 out the gun bag and put the gun bag back in. He had his ammunition and he put the rifle on his shoulder, right shoulder. The rifle on his right shoulder. Got out the car, gone, started walking toward the front of the building. Now, stop. Situational awareness. This is something that I teach. It's my most important class, situational awareness. There are multiple control centers that has CCTV, that runs the CCTV from that area. And the building that he was going to, the building across the street, the building across the street over there, the other building over there, the down the block, all in that perimeter, they have control centers. And they have people monitoring the cameras. I'm not understanding, through situational awareness, why law enforcement wasn't notified that there's a gentleman walking down the street with an AR-15 on the shoulder. From the camera view, because you're supposed to be, there's cameras everywhere, on every building, in every space of a building, there's some CCTV camera, all types. And you didn't pick this guy up, and you didn't notify law enforcement before he even gets to the building. Someone should have seen him. Someone should have notified their office, their supervisor, that look at this gentleman walking down the street with a gun. You gotta contact your people to make a good decision on locking the building down, and you gotta notify the other buildings also, because you're supposed to be having in a close proximity, joint venture exercises. So it's not a big surprise of trying to get in contact with somebody to maintain surveillance of this gentleman and see where he's going. The gentleman walks down the street. He makes right. He goes up steps. He's in a courtyard. There's citizens on the right side of him. They're parallel. So he's walking up. He's walking down close to the right, on the right side of the building. And you have citizens on this side over here. They laughing and talking and whatever. They don't understand what's happening because they can't see. On his right side, there's a AR-15. Upon entering the building, he must have made contact with law enforcement. They had a fatal shootout, and the law enforcement officer passed. Now, coming in the door, there's again control centers. The footage that they showed on the news was the footage from the building. So you see this gentleman coming in with a gun. In a huge building like that, there are always security. Law enforcement was there, but there have to have been some other kind of SOPs there also, or security, or someone else had to have been there. So he makes contact with the law enforcement officer. He kills the law enforcement officer. He wanted to travel up to the NFL office. I don't know if he made contact with the second victim on the same floor. I believe that's what happened. Well, he shoots and kills her. Moves to get on the elevator. I was told, or I read, that he got on the wrong elevator or he went on the wrong floor. One of the others, he got on the wrong floors, took him to another area, not the NFL office. He gets off the elevator. He makes contact with two other people and he killed them. I guess he's not satisfied with what he did, or he did achieve his goal. Allegedly, he shot and killed himself. Shot himself in the chest. I don't know. All I'm saying is, where was the mass notification system? Where was the mass notification system to let the people in the building know that there's an active shooter? Where were the security officers in that building and all the other surrounding buildings? When you see a man walking down the street with an AR-15, that's all hands on deck. You got an active shooter. Possibility, or he just want to walk down the street and make contact with law enforcement and kill himself, or have a murder, police by suicide, or whatever he's doing, he has a firearm. He has a rifle. And there are too many CCTVs not to have picked him up. Not to have picked him up. Before he even got to the building, he's supposed to have been arrested or confronted. But it didn't happen. And 4 people died. You have to protect yourself. I teach a class called Situational Awareness. I think it's the most important class that I teach out of all maybe 30 classes that I teach. Shows you who's doing what, where they are, what are they doing, what do they have, how they're acting. Situational awareness. I have a book called Situational Awareness in an Urban Environment. The most important thing that you can do, because you can recognize the threat and you can see the threat. And this is an obvious threat, because this man's walking down the street, they walked in the courtyard with an AR-15 on his shoulder. Nobody picked him up. Nobody called. They called because he made contact with the law enforcement officer and he shot and killed the law enforcement officer. The shootout. But I'm talking about when he got out of the car. There was cameras picking him up right then and there. And you can't tell me that they weren't, because there are cameras everywhere. In every space of a building, on top of the building, on the lower of the building, on the side of the building, in the dock area, in between columns, there's CCTV. There are cameras that you don't know that's out there. Not good. Understanding if the building has a mass notification system is paramount. And you need to ask your manager for the EOPs and the SOPs, the emergency operation procedures and the standard operation procedures, what's going on. Is that in play? Is a mass notification system in play in the building? Because it'll save your life. It will save your life. Even schools, especially schools. I don't care if you're just an elementary school. You still need a mass notification system, because you're a soft target. There's no security. There's no SOPs, special police officers in your building to protect the rear, the front, your exits and your entrance, the ingress or egress. There's nobody there. So you're just there. And if you haven't practiced your plan, if you haven't gone over your plan, if you haven't drilled, well, you don't know what to do. Now you're scared. Do you know, should I shelter in place? Should I evacuate? What should I do? I'm not getting any intelligence. Nothing is telling me. That's what a mass notification system would do. It would provide you the intel on when to move and when not to move. How many shooters are in the building? Where are the shootcators located? Valuable information. Valuable information. You have to know this kind of intel. Look where you live. You live in the United States of America. This is one of the most violent countries in the world, if not the most violent country in the world. Because we got access to firearms all the time. All the time. It's a firearm-oriented country. And it's a mean country. And it's an evil country. So you have to be prepared to deal with that evilness. See, what happens is that you trust the people that you work for to protect you. That's what you do. You trust them to protect you because you're going in their building and you believe that everything is going to be okay and they've done their due diligence to protect you. You better check and see what the plan is, so you will know what level of security that you're dealing with. And if you're a soft target, well, you know, any and everything goes as far as safety and security, because they can come in and kill as many people as they want to, if that's what they want to do, because there's nobody there to stop them. Mass notification system, situational awareness. I cannot harp on situational awareness. I can't. I mean, I talk about this all the time. You have to be aware of your perimeter, of your environment, and the people that you around, and people that's coming. It doesn't have to be a frantic thing that you always looking here and here. You need to know anybody that comes, you need to scan them and then keep it moving. You see somebody with a gun, you better move. You see somebody with a firearm, you better daggone move. Because if you don't, you get yourself killed or shot. If you're a concealed carrier, now you have to make a decision. You see somebody, walking with a gun, he's not doing anything, but you can't come up and say, hey, put the gun down. You're not a law enforcement officer, but you can call the police and move. And if you want to move, do something, just be careful. Just be careful. Because, again, they will lock you up for certain things. But if they deploy the gun, you see a gun, you got to be ready to deal with that threat. Because he has a rifle and you have a pistol. And 9 times out of 10, a rifle wins most of the time. That's your primary weapon is a rifle. And that's what he took. He didn't take the revolver, he took the rifle. So look, understand the importance of situational awareness and mass notification systems. It may save you. But also remember this, stay alive.